Hi, this is Matt Bernstein with Skillhance.com, and in this lecture, we're going to be planning a successful post and strategy on Reddit. The most important keys to success on Reddit is to successfully identify your audience, by which I mean that you need to identify both the nature of Redditors generally and the community you are going to be posted in. This is the single most important thing to understand and get right. In order to succeed on Reddit, you need to understand the psychology of the average Redditor, and you need to understand the kind of content and posting that does well on Reddit. As we'll see, getting this wrong can actually end pretty badly and even damage your online Reddit reputation. You need to plan your posts and promotions carefully, then to avoid a backlash. And following will help you understand why a little bit better. The first thing you need to understand about Reddit is actually quite a cynical place. Whereas some sites make it fairly easy to get away with self-promotional posts, Reddit is no such site. The same goes for a factually inaccurate information or even just controversial views. In other words, in any given community, there are plenty of Redditors waiting to call you out, to downvote your post, and to contradict everything that you say. If you make a post in a subreddit promoting your website and you aren't subtle about it and aren't providing any real value, then you can expect multiple posts telling you that your post was pointless, that it didn't bring anything new, and that you're just trying to promote your business and that your product and service looks like rubbish anyways. And this can result in a landslide of negativity, resulting in countless downvotes and possibility even getting your account banned. Sometimes this is fully justified and you are indeed just posting blog spam that you probably need to prepare yourself to take some slack. In other cases though, these negative responses can be simply overly harsh, and there is no easy way to put this. Reddit can be at times somewhat mean-spirited place. Researching your subreddit. One of the best things you can do to avoid getting your content ridiculed and downvoted before you post is to put some time up front to research the subreddit that you're going to be posting in. The first place to start here is with the rule of that subreddit. These will normally be posted alongside the right-hand side, and if you go to the subreddit itself and click submit rather than submitting from the front page, they will appear over the submission form. These rules will generally include some general guides as well as some hard and fast laws of the subreddit that you have to adhere to. For instance, some subreddits tell you that you should absolutely be no blog spam or that posting links to your own blog is forbidden. You can save yourself a lot of time and trouble by simply avoiding these subreddits altogether. While some blogs explicitly forbid self-promotion, there are a few out there that actually encourage it. If you created a game or an app that is also a game, for instance, then you can share it to the subreddit Play My Game, which is actually for people to promote their games. If you want to charge for the game and you're a big developer though, you might not get as warm of reception. Some subreddits don't actually allow link posts, meaning you can't just create a post just to link out to a blog post. This is actually a huge problem, however, as you can get around it by creating a self-post, text post, and including a link to your site. But be careful again, as this can sometimes rub people up the wrong way on Reddit. And if you're trying to include a link in a self-post, a good strategy can be including multiple links to support your points, with only one of the things being a link to your own site. We'll look into more detail about how you can choose between link posts and self-posts later in this section. Another thing to look out for in the rules is whether or not you need to use tags. Some subreddits will require that you use tags like news, discussion, or blog alongside your title. If you fail to do this, then your post might be immediately deleted. Also important when researching a subreddit is to spend some time looking at the kind of content that is doing well there, reading the types of comments that get received, and generally trying to understand as well as possible the psychology of the users on that page. This way you can decide whether your content is likely to succeed there and also best portray your content in that subreddit. In short, whenever you post to a subreddit for the first time, spend a while getting to know that subreddit, looking at how the most successful posts are formed and thinking carefully about how to get the best response. A good trick to avoiding backlash. One good trick for avoiding backlash is to avoid posting to directly relevant subreddits and instead to post to subreddits that are somewhat related. Go back to Jeff and our beard posts. Let's look at 2 possible approaches and 2 possible outcomes. Strategy number 1, posting an article called "Why Have a Beard" to the subreddit Beards. If you post an article, "Why Have a Beard" to the main beard subreddit, this will right away have an advantage of ensuring that you'll get a lot of Jeffs, all interested in beards. And you can also sell a beard product from your site and manage to get a lot of upvotes and views that you may make a bunch of direct sales, and thus it could be considered a successful and profitable post. On the other hand though, you may also risk a backlash. For starters, you're preaching to the choir. If you have a post about having a beard and you don't have enough details, then these readers may suspect that you in fact don't know anything about beards, and they'll crucify you as a result. Alternatively, they might just feel that your generically titled article doesn't really tell them anything new and it's clearly promotional without adding value. Again, this is a quick way to get lambasted. At the same time, posting to a subreddit full of beard owners means that you might not reach any new customers. Perhaps they already have the beard products they need, and perhaps they already read your site regularly. Strategy number 2, why not have a beard in the subreddit called Men's Fashion, or alternatively, Art of Manliness. In this case, your posts are still going to be relevant and are still going to reach a lot of Jeffs. Why? Because a Jeff who subscribes to beard is quite likely to subscribe to Men's Fashion as well. But at the same time, you'll reach some Jeffs who don't already have beards, but they may want a beard once they learn about them. Now you're providing some new information to a group they might find it interesting. It won't get picked apart to the same extent because they're beginners, and will also provide something that they haven't heard before. This is the thin line to walk here, and if you post in a category that is too far from the subject you're discussing, then you might come under fire for not staying relevant to a topic. Once more, your post might get deleted. Posting about beards to Men's Fashion is fine, but posting it to bodybuilding is a more tenuous and likely to get you banned. This will be seen as even more as a flagrant attempt at blog spam. To avoid this problem, you need to go one step further and create new content designed specifically to bridge a gap between 2 niches or 2 target audiences. For instance, you did want to try and bring in followers from bodybuilding. Then a better strategy might be to have a post called "The Top Bodybuilders with Beards" and why every bodybuilder should have a beard. This is why you can create a directly relevant content that is completely new and different to what's gone before, and you can help to avoid looking derivative or too cliched. So tread carefully, but do consider the value of expanding your target audience slightly and posting to slightly broader categories. This is a great way to avoid serious criticism and to bring the potential new customers who otherwise haven't considered your product or services, and who might appreciate an introduction to a new niche. Managing your profile and karma. Managing your profile and karma is also an important part of your strategy. While many users might want to focus simply on posting promotional content, this approach can be limiting and you don't consider the long game. In other words, make sure that you're also thinking about how you're going to build authority and respect on Reddit, both in terms of karma and in terms of actual recognition. What's key to keep in mind here is that you keep posting content that has an even slight promotional edge to it. People will start to recognize your username and downvote your content automatically. At the same time, if someone sees a new post that's yours getting a lot of attention, they might then research you by looking at your username and seeing your previous posts. You'll lose a lot of credibility if it appears that you ever do is post to promote yourself, or if you have a karma score in the 1000s. As well as posting your own content and links, you also need to ensure that you're an active member of a community and that you're commenting regularly with things that get upvoted. Comments that tend to do well are often funny or provide some sort of use for the reader. For instance, if someone is asking a question about how to fix their computer and you can provide a useful tip and response, you will likely get at least one upvote from that user and probably more from others. Try to see every question as an opportunity to demonstrate your expertise and knowledge and to build your reputation and karma. In general, the key to building a popular Reddit profile is the same as creating a successful website or blog. That means you're providing value. Whether that's comedic value, entertainment value, or value in the form of information doesn't matter. To answer the question, should you create multiple accounts? Of course, there are many good ways that you can artificially inflate your success on Reddit, with one of the most obvious being creating multiple accounts, which you can then use to top promote one another. This way you can get upvotes, the content, and post yourself and see your karma score grow as a result. Likewise, you can use multiple Reddit accounts in order to ensure that your new posts get the initial boost they need in order to gain momentum and to really succeed. As you may imagine, though, this is a practice that isn't exactly encouraged by Reddit. And so you'll need to be careful about your accounts before you get banned or your post removed. So having multiple accounts can be useful in order to occasionally nudge the tide in your favor in a hot debate, or give yourself a second chance if one account should get shut down. That being said, though, you should not rely on the strategy and you should use it sparingly.